Hi, everybody. This is Jeffrey from Ripe Color, and
This is Nancy Jean in the garden.
we are here as the Daily Duo. Dually, we read on 5 energies: body, mind, spirit, grounding, and clarity. I read 5 tarot cards. Nancy Jean reads 5 crystals in the garden. Please like, subscribe, share, comment, press the bell for notifications. Please become members of our respective channels. Nancy?
Yes, and this month I'm running a special on the garden. If you go to my web store at www.crystaldirections.com, you can see how to get a garden. And I'm also offering a membership on YouTube for people who have gardens, and we're going to have little private classes to learn how to really use the garden well. And you can join and just, if you're just curious about the garden, and see what happens. But if it really helps if you have the garden. Also, besides liking and sharing and doing all that wonderful stuff, if you could comment and give us feedback on what we're doing in the Daily Duo, that would be helpful. I find that those sorts of discussions are extremely useful to me in figuring out how to help and improve and make our shows useful as possible. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
This is the 15th. Oh.
Okay, I'm not going to look at the stones. I don't want to be influenced.
Yeah.
I know how to be secure,
Mm-hmm.
and I have a plan, and yay, right? And I'm really clear, and I have experience. Body, mind says, yeah, let's get going. Mind says, yeah, let's get going. And not only that, but I always feel like with this card, that his third eye, it's because the card of Cancer. So it's deeply intuitive. The moons are on his shoulder, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not only that he has the knowledge in the physical world, but he has like the direction and the impetus from spirit,
Mm-hmm.
body, mind, and spirit. You know, the counterpart shows up, and she says, be wise. Don't spend too much money. Be nurturing, be practical. She's like the most practical queen, this one. It's like she really knows what to do, when to do it, how to do it. She just knows. So there's this, between the three of them, there's this whole energy of like, yeah, I've got a plan. I know what I'm going to do. I have it all worked out in my head. It makes sense. It's practical. Yay. Body, mind, spirit. And then for grounding, interestingly, I have the 5. So the 5 is change. I think in this reading that this is really about, this one has that opinion. That one has that opinion. Take the best of those opinions and form them into one thing, right? And to make it, productive and useful, and, because this can also be exchange of ideas. And I think that's what's going on. I think, you've listened and you've watched, and it's like, okay, I'm going to take a little this and a little that, and, I'm going to make a whole thing. Body, mind, spirit, grounding. And then for clarity, first of all, it's a 4, so it's stable. There's a stable thought. And I think because you've sat with yourself and listened and asked spirit for help and really listened, that you're being directed by something greater than the sum of yourself. That's what I get.
Okay. Well, in my case, what I have is what we may not completely agree on this, but we have to give people options. This gives the other option for the other side. For those of you who haven't watched this very often, when a stone falls in 2 spaces, I have to put together the message of those 2 spaces. And so your body says, my options aren't really clear, but it's pulling from the past to look for the forms that have served you before. Your clarity is also in the past. And your clarity is saying, use the lessons you've learned and you'll have the answers. So those 2 kind of go together. Clarity is also in fire, which is a great place for it to be because it says, use the ideas that you have right now to carry you forward. So look at it. Right in the middle of Earth. It couldn't get more smack dab in the middle of Earth if I'd have plunked it there myself. is your grounding stones, and that's more is being brought forward. And when it's sort of midway, it's not almost in the other, it's coming forward right now. And then the mind is another one. Today we just did a whole lot of doubles. The mind is locked between air, which is thoughts are all important, and it's also tied to the present. And when your mind's in the present, it says the signs are all around you. Look, open your eyes, look up. You'll have the answer there. And then the spirit, what's poor little spirit doing over here? It hit 2-2. I thought it landed on the, we have to read all 6 places, but this is really in the truth and path forward. And when it shows up in the throat chakra, which is the truth, it says spirit shines through self-expression, and that's your path forward. To speak your own truth. Something's tugging you backwards. But when you speak your own truth and move forward, and your mind knows what it needs to do, but you have to learn how to express your thoughts clearly, and your grounding and how you're going to handle all this is growing. Because as I tell you, things that grow out of the earth. So more is being brought forward. So speak your truth today, but it's not going to be the end of the argument or the end of the discussion.
But it's the beginning of a discussion. Which
yeah, and it's a really interesting.
I mean, they're all speaking their truths.
I know.
Yeah.
But who has the bigger stick or the harder?
Exactly.
And also remember, that's the only card in the traditional tarot that has adolescence only on it. So it's all young.
Little outfits on though.
Oh, I know. Well, they dressed better in them days, but yeah, it's kind of like your arguments are there, and you may even be doing that 5-1 fight in your own head.
Right. Yeah, I don't feel like it's another.
No, I think it's learning how to speak your own truth. And remember what we keep saying all the time: just because you think it doesn't make it true. Sort it all out, figure out what is the truth. Okay.
Blessings.